and our collective network then highlights it by putting comments, by putting appropriate messages and tweets within the parameters of the law, asking the agency to take cognizance. Once cognizance of the complaint is taken, we wait for a period of 7 days for the issue to get resolved. And if the issue is not resolved, thereafter once again we raise it, and we raise it through social media. The other method, that what we do is we copy the link of these tweets and we email the municipal commissioner. We note down the sections of law under which they can be prosecuted for orchestrated dereliction of duty under criminal law. Thereafter, the municipal commissioner forwards these to the deputy municipal commissioners, to the ward officers, and finally the complaint comes to be resolved. I know the task may be a little tedious, but when collectively citizens come together to get the legal hammer out on the administration employees, the issues are very, very swiftly addressed, especially the non-complex issues like drainage or solid waste management or roads, potholes. So at least temporary or interim relief is granted to the citizens, because we all know even after potholes are filled, the quality which is used to fill these potholes is extremely less compared to few days or within a less period of time. However, we this way we keep the checks and balances with the administration, and it really is very effective. There are also times where the ward officers or the wards, the executive engineers are not taking action on the complaints. What do we do in such events? This is where a collective network of citizens come into the picture, where and this is what MNCDF has structured, wherein citizens from different areas, they start putting emails down to the municipal commissioners, to the deputy municipal commissioners, tagging those complaints and highlighting it. By doing this, we are creating a record of our complaints, which later can, of course, be used by lawyers while they are seeking a judicial intervention to show the dereliction of duty by the officers and by the administration. Also, there have been circumstances where issues, despite complaints, despite giving them reasonable time to resolve it, does not get resolved. In such scenarios, you know what we have to today, we are in the time of technology. We need to start adopting and using technology, AI like Chat GPT can draft you a fantastic mail, which you can then forward to the municipal commissioner. You can also approach activists such as Mr. Kamlakar Shenoy, who has kept ready drafts for criminal prosecution, notice for sanction to prosecute. And this is what I have done at multiple instances when issues have not been addressed. We have directly issued notice for sanction to prosecute against junior engineers, against executive engineers, against ward officers, and thereafter, they swiftly resolve the issue, because none of them want to be subjected to criminal prosecution or to judicial intervention, because they understand the flack and the and what could happen thereafter legally. So our criminal law has multiple sections where public servants can be pulled up for dereliction of duty, one of them being Section 166 of the Indian Penal Code, which you must read. Then we have Section 216, 217, 431 of IPC. These are some sections which we use when we notice that there is a dereliction of duty by officers to address these grievances. And these are the two methods we use. There was some time ago, we had websites like Aple Sarkar and PG Portal, which was set up to make sure that the state government is able to keep a check on the administration officers. So when a complaint was submitted to Aple Sarkar, the IAS officer sitting in Mantralaya would dial the local officers of the ward and tell them that they have received these complaints and to redress it. However, Aple Sarkar is now once again become weak in redressal, and it is not very effective. But where we see effectiveness working is when a collective network of citizens come on social media, they hammer the local politicians within the framework of the law. They raise their voice against the officers. If you go to the BMC website, every ward has a directory list which has the name and contact number of every officer concerned. You name the officer on social media. You use this tool. If it is his legal obligation and his legal duty for which he is taking a salary to resolve the public grievance. And if he is not doing it, you go shame him. It will not amount to defamation at all. And you will notice that slowly, citizen issues will get redressed, will get addressed when they come in the dock, when they come in the picture. And I'll give you a very recent example. Uh, uh, a few months ago, we had noticed that the social media agency or the Twitter handle of BMC was not really resolving issues. Uh, they were delaying it by a month, and all the citizens were very harrowed. And a lot of citizens approached me on what we should do. I got the tender document from the BMC website of this social media agency, and I rubbed it on the face of the BMC to show that how 18 employees were appointed and 2 crore rupees was being given to 18 employees. And the clauses where the essence of grievance redressal was really there, those clauses were striked out by the PRO department of the BMC. After we raised this scam, we saw a 360-degree turn in grievance redressal. So the idea is to collectively take it up, is to be proactive, is to raise it. And when you raise it, it comes in the notice of the BMC, it comes in the notice of citizen activists or social workers, who can then collectively take it up and hammer the BMC and enforce them to fulfill their legal obligation. So these are the basic two methods, and they are very effective. And when they render ineffective, then of course we have the judiciary, we have the high courts who have been proactive since, in fact, 2015 and earlier. As Advocate Thakkar mentioned, we have multiple judgments of the Bombay High Court, detailed judgments of 2015 and even now, that Advocate Thakkar has obtained from the courts. But the problem is that citizens need to make sure that these judgments are followed in letter and spirit. How many times proactively can even judges pass orders or lawyers go back to courts again and again and again? Finally, we have to have the administration enforce these judgments. We have to move for contempt if these judgments are not being followed, and that is what is exactly happening now. But we see this issue every year during the monsoons, where the roads go bad and maybe one or two contractors are pulled up or what. Every year we have this issue, and therefore I appeal to all citizens and Mumbaikars. All it will take you is a few minutes to take a photo, to become proactive. And if you do not know how to go about the process, please reach out to MNCDF. We have network leaders who will guide you step by step how to take the complaint up, how to draft the complaint, how to submit the complaint, how to successfully redress the grievance. So we have a lot of citizens who joined MNCDF. They did not know ABC of grievance redressal, but through these modules, we helped them, we guided them, and after they got these issues resolved in their own vicinities, in their own areas, they were appreciated, they were applauded by their own fellow citizens, by their own fellow neighbors, for getting these issues resolved. Because you know what? Just by having a pothole filled, you don't know how many lives you saved. And that is what counts. You are saving lives by how you are not even you all you need is a mobile device, which every citizen has, and you need to be a little tech savvy, and trust me, you will do wonders for this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate Karnani, for sharing your thoughts. Can I ask Mr. Galgali to speak? Galgali ji? Hello.
So while we wait for Anilji to join, let me, put in my 2 bit and thank both the speakers for, a really important point that both of you made. I've been, helped a lot by Advocate Karnani and his organization, because I tweet a lot. I think what you would see is a lot of us walking around think something has happened on its own Nothing ever happens on its own. You need an advocate Thakkar and an advocate Karnani and Anil Galgali to be relentlessly at it. And it really breaks my heart to hear them say, please join us, because, you know, all of us have a smartphone today. We go out for walks, we go out shopping. All you need to do is click a picture and put it up. But so few of us want to do it. I think Mr. Galgali is back, so I hand it over to him. Anilji, over to you.
जी नमस्कार, थैंक यू फॉर द मनी लाइफ। आपने फिर एक बार मुंबई के लोगों के हित के लिए एक अलग से विषय को चॉइस किया। निश्चित तौर पर दो विषय है। वन इज द जो मुंबई में जो गड्ढे हैं उसमें जो इलीगल होर्डिंग्स, अगर हम देखेंगे कि जिस तरह से एडवोकेट ठक्कर जी और एडवोकेट करनानी जी, एडवोकेट ठक्कर जी ने काफी इसमें मेहनत की है, उसके लिए मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। और जो करनानी जी जो MNCDF जो एक अभियान चला रहे हैं, उसके वजह से भी कई लोगों को जागरूकता पैदा होती है, उनको भी मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। तो दो विषय है। सबसे पहले मैं इलीगल होर्डिंग्स की बात करता हूँ, क्योंकि जो महाराष्ट्र सार्वजनिक मालमत्तेचे विद्रुपीकरण प्रतिबंध कायदा 1995 हे पहले से हमारे पास लागू है। उसके बाद मुंबई प्रांतिक महापालिका अधिनियम 1949 और मुंबई प्रांतिक महापालिका अधिनियम 2003, इसके तहत जिस तरह से जो इलीगल होर्डिंग्स लगाते हैं उस पर एक्शन लेने का पूरा अधिकार उस लोकल जो ऑफिसर्स लोगों को है। दुर्भाग्य से कोई एक्शन नहीं लेता है। जब कोई भी इस तरह की इलीगल होर्डिंग लगाता है तो उसे 3 महीने की सजा होती है। अगर महानगर पालिका उस पर FIR दर्ज करती है तो 2000 रुपए का जुर्माना है। दुर्भाग्य से मुंबई में इस तरह की कार्रवाई नहीं होती। थाने में जब बिपिन शर्मा कमिश्नर थे, उन्होंने एट ए टाइम 36 लोगों पर FIR दर्ज कराए थे। उसके बाद थाने में जो होर्डिंग्स इलीगल लगाने की संख्या में गिरावट आई थी। कोल्हापुर हो, नासिक हो, पुणे हो, नागपुर हो, हर जो महानगर पालिका क्षेत्र में ये जो कानून जो बनाया गया है वो लागू किया गया है, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से जो अधिकारी उस पर एक्शन नहीं लेते। तो सिटीजन को क्या करना है? सिटीजन अगर फॉलो करते ट्विटर के माध्यम से या ऑनलाइन कंप्लेंट के माध्यम से, जैसे 1916 है, ट्विटर तो मुंबई में हर वार्ड का अलग अलग बनाया हुआ है, तो एक प्रेशर ग्रुप बनाने की आवश्यकता है। अगर आपको आपके एरिया में होर्डिंग्स नहीं चाहिए, इलीगल है, तो आपको कंप्लेंट करने के बाद यू शुड फॉलो विद द लोकल लाइसेंस डिपार्टमेंट। लाइसेंस डिपार्टमेंट इसकी एक्शन लेता है, उस पर कार्रवाई करता है। अगर कई जगह पर उन्होंने FIR भी दर्ज करा है, लेकिन 90% जो होर्डिंग्स होते हैं इलीगल पॉलिटिकल लोगों के होते हैं। मिस्टर भगवान जी रैन जी, उन्होंने सबसे पहले PIL मुंबई हाईकोर्ट में दर्ज कराई थी। उसके बाद अलग अलग जो ऑर्डर जारी हुए, मतलब ऐसे कोई भी राजनीतिक दल नहीं है जिस पर एक्शन होते होते नहीं हुआ है। हर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को कोर्ट ने स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन लेने के ऑर्डर भी दिए। जो उनके पॉलिटिकल लोगों ने अपने पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को होर्डिंग्स न लगाने के लिए अपील भी की। जैसे भी हाल ही में जो देवेंद्र फडणवीस जो उप मुख्यमंत्री थे, उनका बर्थडे था, तो कोर्ट का कहीं ना कहीं तो असर है। जो एक्टिविज्म चल रही है, जो प्रेशर ग्रुप बन रहा है, और जो महानगर पालिका जो काम नहीं कर सकती है, मगर कोर्ट की वजह से कई सारे राजनीतिक दलों ने अपने बर्थडे न मनाने की अपील की है। अगर आपको बर्थडे के होर्डिंग्स लगाने हैं तो आप लीगली जाइए। लेकिन उसमें दो इश्यूज है, क्योंकि महानगर पालिका के जो रूल्स है, जो नियम है, वो भी अभी तक क्लियर नहीं है। क्योंकि होर्डिंग्स लगाने की जो परमिशन की जो प्रोसीजर होती है वो काफी दिक्कत वाली है। अगर उसको वन विंडो करते हैं, अगर किसी को होर्डिंग लगानी है, कोई स्पॉट म्यूनसिपालिटी ने तय किया है, अगर वो ऑफिशियली पे करता है, ऑफिशियली पेमेंट करता है, तो होर्डिंग लगाने में कोई आवश्यक मतलब कोई उसमें कोई गलत नहीं है। क्योंकि आज कई सारी कमर्शियल होर्डिंग्स होती है, जैसे ईस्टर्न एक्सप्रेस हाईवे, वेस्टर्न एक्सप्रेस हाईवे, वहां पर MMRD ने तो बाकायदा टेंडर निकालकर 20 करोड़ रुपीज में होर्डिंग्स का पूरा टेंडर एक कंपनी को देने का काम किया है। तो ऐसे महानगर पालिका हो, MMRD हो, वो रेवेन्यू के माध्यम से भी काम करती है, मगर वो होर्डिंग्स लीगल होनी चाहिए। उस होर्डिंग्स को कहीं ना कहीं तो कानूनन एक वैधता होनी चाहिए। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से मुंबई में 95% होर्डिंग्स जो होती है इलीगल होती है, कोई परमिशन नहीं लेते हैं, और महानगर पालिका के रेवेन्यू उसमें कई जगह पर नुकसान होता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं तो जो अलग अलग कानून बनाए हैं, मुंबई प्रांतिक महापालिका का जो अधिनियम 2003 है, तो एज अ सिटीजन अगर आपको लगता है कि यहाँ होर्डिंग्स इलीगल लग रही है, तो लोकल वार्ड में अप्रोच करके फॉलो अप करके तो आप अगर करेंगे तो निश्चित तौर पर कहीं ना कहीं तो उसमें असर होगा। क्योंकि अगर आपने एक दो बार अगर फॉलो अप किया तो अधिकारियों को डर लगता है, और कहीं ना कहीं तो जो कानूनन जो FIR दर्ज करना होता है, जिसमें 3 महीने की सजा है, तो 2000 रुपए का जुर्माना है, अगर एक दो लोगों पर भी कार्रवाई होती है तो निश्चित तौर पर जो इलीगल होर्डिंग्स लगाने वालों की संख्या में कमी आएगी। मगर एज अ सिटीजन हमें आगे आना चाहिए। एज ए अधिकारी, जैसा अभी एडवोकेट करनानी ने बताया कि अलग अलग जगह पर जब हम शिकायत करते हैं तो एक्शन नहीं होता है, तो हमारे पास राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन के अलावा हमारे पास राइट टू सर्विस है। आप कैमरा के माध्यम से अगर फोटो भी अगर उसमें आपने लोड कर दिया, जो अभी जीपीएस के जो एक अपना गूगल प्ले स्टोर में जाएंगे तो जीपीएस जो कैमरा अगर आप डाउनलोड करेंगे उससे आप खड्डे का भी फोटो ले सकते हो, इलीगल होर्डिंग का भी फोटो ले सकते हो, जो भी गलत हो रहा है उसकी फोटो करके अगर म्यूनसिपालिटी को टैग करते हो ट्विटर के माध्यम से या ऑनलाइन कंप्लेंट करते हो तो निश्चित तौर पर कार्रवाई होती है। दूसरी बात अगर हम बात करेंगे कि मुंबई के गड्ढों की, आज जिस तरह से मुंबई के गड्ढों के बारे में जो अलग अलग बात चल रही है, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि महानगर पालिका अगर क्या चाहती है, क्योंकि हमारे पास जो प्रोडक्ट जो रिएक्टिव एस्पाल्ट उसे हम लोग जो ऑस्ट्रिया से जो एक मटेरियल आता है 2016 में 2018 में मुंबई में कई जगह पर उसका एक प्रकार का उन्होंने एक प्रायोगिक तत्वों पर उसका एक अनुभव लेने का काम किया। 2018 में खुद मैंने सांताक्रूज चिंबू लिंक रोड पर जो अस्पाल्ट का यूज किया, विद इन 3 मिनट में वो गड्ढे को पाटा गया और आज तक वो गड्ढा वैसे की वैसा ही है, वहां पर अभी तक कोई गड्ढा नहीं हुआ है, क्योंकि जो ऑस्ट्रिया से जो मटेरियल आता है उसकी कीमत है 131 रुपए पर केजी और जीएसटी के साथ। तो कहीं ना कहीं तो महानगर पालिका को अगर आपने अच्छा मटेरियल यूज किया तो निश्चित तौर पर वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं तो उसका यूज हो सकता है। पर दुर्भाग्य से म्युनिसिपैलिटी क्या कर रही है, कोल्ड मिक्स का इस्तेमाल कर रही है। कोल्ड मिक्स मतलब क्या कि केरोसिन की मिलावट करके हम उस गट्टे को पटने का काम करते हैं, वो 30 रुपए किलो है। बाद में रैपिड जो अभी नया उन्होंने जो सिस्टम लाया हुआ है उसकी भी कीमत कम है, उसे खड्डे को पटने के लिए 6 घंटे लगते हैं और कोल्ड मिक्स को लगते हैं 2-3। मगर जो अस्पाल्ट जो पुराना अस्पाल्ट है जो 131 रुपए पर केजी है वो आपको विद इन 3 मिनट में रिजल्ट देता है। कई सारे मुंबई के जो गड्ढे को उस वक्त पटने का काम किया गया है, आज तक उस सड़क पर गड्ढा नहीं हुआ है। कहीं ना कहीं तो महानगर पालिका को अच्छी क्वालिटी के तरफ मटेरियल यूज आपने किया तो निश्चित तौर पर गड्ढे नहीं गिरेंगे। दूसरी बात, जब सड़क बनाने वक्त तो गवर्नमेंट ने डिक्लेयर कर दिया है कि हमें मुंबई के सभी रोड को सीसी बनाना है, मगर ऐसा नहीं है। कई जगह पर जो सीसी रोड बने हैं उसकी भी क्वालिटी में अगर आपने अच्छा मटेरियल यूज नहीं किया तो विद इन 2 से 3 महीने में वहां पर गड्ढे हुए हैं। सांताक्रूज चेंबूर लिंक रोड जो एमएमआरडी के जय कुमार ने बनाया है, विद इन 2 महीने में वहां पर गड्ढे गिरे। बाद में मीरा भाईंदर में जो हमें नया ब्रिज बनाया गया है जो नेशनल हाईवे ने बनाया है, वहां पर भी 3 महीने में गड्ढे गिरे। अगर आपने क्वालिटी यूज नहीं की, अच्छा मटेरियल यूज नहीं किया तो सड़क पर गड्ढे गिरना स्वाभाविक है। मैं आपको एक उदाहरण बताता हूँ कि जेजे फ्लाईओवर, जब जेजे फ्लाईओवर बनाया गया उस वक्त वो जो फ्लाईओवर बनाया गया आज तक उसमें गड्ढे इसलिए नहीं गिरे क्योंकि वहां पर क्वालिटी का माल यूज किया गया है। अगर हम लोग नई मुंबई की तरफ जाते हैं, पाम बीच रोड, वहां पर 2-4 ऐसी सड़कें हैं जो पिछले 15 सालों पहले बनाई गई है, वहां पर एक भी गड्ढा नहीं है। तो नई मुंबई महानगर पालिका ने कौन सा मटेरियल यूज किया, जेजे हॉस्पिटल जो ब्रिज बना वहां पर कौन सा मटेरियल यूज किया, एक कहीं ना कहीं तो हमें देखने की आवश्यकता है। क्योंकि जो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर का जो नेक्सस मुंबई में है, सरकार कोई भी आए कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के नेक्सस नहीं बदलते, वही कॉन्ट्रैक्टर वही मटेरियल यूज करते हैं और वहीं पर उनको सपोर्ट मिलता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं तो इस नेक्सस को रोकने के लिए सिटीजन को आगे आने की आवश्यकता है। सबसे बड़ी बात है कि आज मुंबई में महानगर पालिका के 24 जो अलग अलग वार्ड है, हर एक वार्ड का एक ट्विटर हैंडल है, माई बीएमसी वार्ड ए, माई बीएमसी वार्ड बी, ऐसे 20 पर ट्विटर हैंडल है। अगर हमने फोटो खींचकर, चाहे गड्ढे के फोटो हो, इलीगल होर्डिंग का फोटो हो, अगर हम लोग उसको टैग करके उधर कंप्लीट करते हैं तो विद इन 24 आवर्स उस पर एक्शन होती है। दूसरी बात, हमारे पास 1916 है, उस सिस्टम का अगर हमने यूज किया तो निश्चित तौर पर वहां पर भी कार्रवाई होती है। सेकेंडली, अगर आपका अप्रोच अच्छा हो, आप एक प्रेशर ग्रुप बनाते हो, आप जिस वार्ड में रहते हो उस म्युनिसिपल वार्ड में जाकर अगर हमने वहाँ के मेंटेनेंस डिपार्टमेंट, वहाँ के लाइसेंस डिपार्टमेंट, वहाँ के वार्ड ऑफिसर से अगर बातचीत की और कंटिन्यू अगर प्रेशर किया तो निश्चित तौर पर वहाँ के भी गड्ढे हम लोग बुझाने में कामयाब हुए हैं। कहीं ना कहीं तो हमें प्रेशर ग्रुप बनाने की जरूरत है। कोर्ट में जाना तो अलग बात है, क्योंकि कोर्ट में जाने की वजह से अभी एडवोकेट ठक्कर जी ने बताया 2015 से मामले चल रहे हैं, कोर्ट ने कई सारे अच्छे निर्णय दिए हैं, और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे करेंगे, इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए हमें भी खुद भी जनता को भी सड़क पर उतरने की आवश्यकता है। जब रोड बनता है तो रोड बनाने के वक्त क्या मटेरियल यूज कर रहे हैं, कैसे उसका वो लोग इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं, वो काफी महत्वपूर्ण होता है। क्योंकि जब मुंबई में सड़क का घोटाला हुआ था तब मिस्टर कमिश्नर थे अजय मेहता, उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने सिर्फ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर लोगों पर एफआईआर लेने का ऑर्डर दिया। जबकि कोई रोड बनता है, जो रोड बनाने के पहले जो उसका एक हम लोग टेंडर जारी करते हैं, टेंडर बनाने के पहले जो उसकी रिपोर्ट सबमिट होती है, जो उसका एक प्रपोजल बनता है, वो बनाने का काम अधिकारी करते हैं। टेंडर जारी होने के बाद उस अधिकारी का भी उस रोड पर ध्यान होना आवश्यक है, जिसे हम लोग कहते हैं साइट जो इंजीनियर होते हैं, उनका भी रोल महत्वपूर्ण होता है। उसके बाद वहाँ के जो सब इंजीनियर, असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर, डिप्यूटी इंजीनियर और बाद में चीफ इंजीनियर रोड्स, उसके बाद आते हैं डीएमसी और असिस्टेंट म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर, बाद में कमिश्नर। मगर दुर्भाग्य से जब अजय मेहता जी ने सिर्फ 2 कॉन्ट्रैक्टर पर एफआईआर करने का ऑर्डर दिया, तो हमने शिकायत की कि इस तरह की जब करप्शन होता है, सिर्फ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर नहीं, उन अधिकारियों पर भी एफआईआर होना चाहिए। तब उन्होंने हमारी शिकायत को नहीं सुना, फिर हमको लोकायुक्त के पास जाना पड़ा। उसके बाद 2 चीफ इंजीनियर पर एफआईआर दर्ज हुआ, कई सारे अधिकारी भी लाइन में है। यानी सिटीजन को भी इसमें रोल निभाने की आवश्यकता है। जब रोड बनता है तो हमें ध्यान देना है। बाद में जब इस तरह की चीजें आती है, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर भी उतना ही जिम्मेदार है जितना उस अधिकारी को हम जिम्मेदार मानते हैं। क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं तो करप्शन को रोकने के लिए जब काम करते हैं, उस पर अगर हमने उसका ध्यान रखा तो निश्चित तौर पर एक दबाव बनता है कि एक्टिविस्ट हो या सिटीजन हो, वो हमारे काम पर ध्यान रख रहे हैं, तो अधिकारी भी ईमानदारी से काम करते हैं। कहीं ना कहीं तो हमें अभी हमारा रोल बदलने की आवश्यकता है। हमेशा काउंसलर, एमएलए पर हम डिपेंड नहीं रहेंगे। एज ए सिटीजन हमारा भी रोल बनता है। अभी लोग कहेंगे कि सिटीजन क्यों कंप्लेंट करे, जो लोग वेतन लेते हैं उनकी क्या जिम्मेदारी है। अगर किसी अधिकारी ने काम नहीं किया, अगर हमने उसकी शिकायत की, हमारे पास राइट टू सर्विस भी है, क्योंकि राइट टू इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें 30 दिन में इन्फॉर्मेशन देता है। सड़क में गड्ढा गिर गया, और गड्ढे की हम अल्टे डालेंगे तो 30 दिन के बाद रिप्लाई मिलेगा। तो हमें एज ए सिटीजन उसकी कंप्लेंट करनी है। कंप्लेंट में एक्शन नहीं लिया, एक्शन में देरी हुई, उस गड्ढे को होने के पीछे क्या कारण है, सड़क के अगर कोई रिपेयरिंग का मामला है, तो हम राइट टू सर्विस में जाकर उस अधिकारी की भी शिकायत कर सकते हैं कि हमने शिकायत करने के बावजूद भी उन्होंने भले ही गड्ढा पाटा, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर पर कार्रवाई नहीं की, अधिकारियों पर कार्रवाई नहीं हुई। तो कहीं ना कहीं तो जो अलग अलग हमारे पास सुविधा है, ट्विटर है, 1916 है, ईमेल से हम कंप्लेंट कर सकते हैं। अभी कई सारे जो अधिकारी है, व्हाट्सएप पर भी अगर आपने उनको कंप्लेंट कर दी, उस पर एक्शन लेने का काम करते हैं। जैसे कि परसों कुर्ला में एक एमएन रोड था, जहां पर 15 दिन पहले गड्ढे पाटने का काम महानगर पालिका ने किया था। फिर वहां पर गड्ढे आए, फिर हमने डायरेक्टली ट्विटर पर भी शिकायत की, डिप्टी चीफ इंजीनियर को शिकायत की, और पी वेल्ला रसू जो एडिशनल म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर है, जो पूरे मुंबई का गड्ढों का काम देख रहे हैं, उनसे भी शिकायत की कि अब ताबड़तोड़ इस पर ध्यान दीजिए। तो एज ए सिटीजन हमें हमारा रोल बदलने की आवश्यकता है। हमें डायरेक्ट उस अथॉरिटी को शिकायत करनी है, उन अधिकारियों से संपर्क करना है, ताकि हमें ताबड़तोड़ लोगों को सुविधा देने में हम कामयाब हो। कई सारे जो अलग अलग इश्यूज होते हैं, अभी भी मुंबई हाईकोर्ट में गड्ढों को लेकर, इलीगल होर्डिंग्स को लेकर केसेस चल रहे हैं, और वो केसेस का जो रिजल्ट आता है, जो ऑर्डर आती है, बहुत अच्छी होती है, पर इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए ग्राउंड लेवल पर हमें काम करने की आवश्यकता है। जैसे कि एडवोकेट करानी जी ने बताया, इनकी जो MNCDF है काफी अच्छे तरीके से काम करती है, कई लोगों को गाइड करने का भी काम करती है। मनी लाइफ के माध्यम से भी जब लोग आते हैं, RTI सेशन होता है, अलग अलग इश्यूज में भी मार्गदर्शन होता है। तो हमें सबको मिलकर इस इश्यू को सॉर्ट आउट करने की आवश्यकता है। शिकायत करना जरूरी है, सवाल पूछना जरूरी है। जब हम शिकायत करेंगे तब उसका निदान होगा। थैंक यू।
धन्यवाद गलगली जी इतनी अच्छी जानकारी देने के लिए. We'll now open it up for a discussion. There are a few activists, noted activists who have joined us for the call today. So let me start with Vinita Deshmukh. She is an activist from Pune. I'll ask her to unmute and ask her question.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you all three panelists, and you all concentrated on how citizens must participate. That's really very, very important, because educated people never come out and come for campaigns. But in Pune we have a different kind of experience. all the methods that you all told us, Advocate Karnani was saying, tweeting, we have a PMC complaint on Twitter, we address it there. Not only we means all the citizens. I'm not only talking about the activists. There are tons of such complaints which are never addressed. We know when the citizens went out to protest in front of the PMC gate, at that time they were not even allowed to enter anywhere near the gate, and they were made to stand there from 10 to 4, and the municipal commissioner did not see them and sent him to some additional commissioner. Similarly, 5,000 Puneites have come out to say the Vetal Tikri, and on July 24th, the municipal commissioner has gone ahead and realigned the road. Of course, we don't want a road, but realigned the road for the sake of one builder who has a multi-storied, mega project there. So the point is that after so many years of campaigning, I have come to realize that yes, a citizens collective is very important, but what about the authorities themselves? I mean, the chief minister, who's the head of the state, must see what's happening. The urban development department, the municipal commissioner, all the corporates, the MLAs, the MPs. I mean, we have given them our trust, public trust, so that they do the work, which is not a rocket science. Like, ma'am said that there are so many High Court judgments, 2015, 2019, they are just not implemented. They violate all the court norms. Even the Supreme Court, they just go on unabashedly because they have the support of politicians. And Mr. Shekhar Gaikwad, who was the municipal commissioner sometime back, he was booted out by the corporators in 6 months because he wanted some standardization of civic amenities. Whereas Vikram Kumar, who is compromising with every builder and corporators, is there happily staying. So, how much can the citizens, to a second, they have crippled us. And you know that the latest law, some section has come in which you have 2-3 hurdles before you, have any case against the government officer. It has to be first gone to the secretary, the minister who does not give permission. So again, we are at a loss.
So can we hear what the speakers have to say, Vinita, on some of these issues? Because I do agree with you that Pune is a case by itself, and we're always astonished why there is never pressure in spite of so many active citizens. And I think all our 3 speakers really should come to respond to this. Would we start with Advocate Thakkar?
Yeah, so speaking about bad roads and Pune Municipal Corporation, basically the 2018 judgment in that sense applies across the state of Maharashtra. Having said that, recently a matter was mentioned before the Chief Justice only against Pune Municipal Corporation. I believe Senior Counsel Mrs. Gayatri Singh is appearing in the matter. Who is on record, I don't know. But they have filed a case specifically against Pune Municipal Corporation and the roads, highlighting the plight of roads in Pune. So the matter has already reached the High Court again. And it is for us to see now as to what is happening. Having said that, of course, as citizens, it is very frustrating when such issues happen. But I think we shouldn't get deterred and just keep going, because that's the only way out. Because if we today sit down, we who are in that sense aware, then the rights of the others who do not have a voice get marred. So whatever come may, whatever little bit we can do, I think we should just go ahead and keep doing it, how much ever frustrating it is. Because at the end of it, I do see some ray of hope, at least from the judiciary, against, if not the legislature.
Right. Advocate Karnani? You're mute.
Yeah, so sorry. As Advocate Thakkar mentioned, the issue with regards to Pune Municipal Corporation actually requires judicial intervention, because in Mumbai, you see, we have judicial intervention at every stage. Citizens are very proactive. Bombay High Court is easily accessible to us as well. Whereas with the problem with Punekars, with Pune citizens is that, they have an issue in terms of accessibility to the Bombay High Court. But I'm quite sure if we file criminal contempt petition against the Pune Municipal Commissioner, as well as seek the judicial intervention to formulate guidelines to form a robust grievance redressal mechanism by the Pune Municipal Corporation, I am sure we will see solutions and reliefs. However, this issue needs to be taken proactively now before the judiciary, because I understand from Vinita ma'am that there's a lot of high-handedness from the administration and they have a very no-care attitude. The day they are put to judicial scrutiny is the day they will probably be subjected to appropriate action upon themselves for the dereliction, and that is what is required in this matter.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Anil ji, you have any?
Yes. मेरा कहना है कि जो डिले और ट्रांसफर एक्ट 2005 है, उसमें सिटीजन चार्टर हर डिपार्टमेंट ने पब्लिश किया है. जब भी हम कोई शिकायत करते हैं, उन्होंने अगर 1 महीने में रिप्लाई नहीं दिया तो उनके अपर अथॉरिटी को शिकायत करके उस अधिकारियों पर कार्रवाई करने का प्रावधान सिटीजन चार्टर में पहले से ही उन्होंने अलाउड किया है. सेकेंडली, अगर कोई प्रपोजल होगा तो उसका जो उन्होंने मियाद रखी है 45 डेज, अगर कोई बड़ा योजना होगी तो 90 दिन में अगर एक्शन नहीं होती है तो उसके हायर अथॉरिटी को शिकायत करके उस अधिकारियों पर कार्रवाई करने का प्रावधान हमारे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र ने सिटीजन चार्टर में पहले से किया है. अगर हम हर डिपार्टमेंट के अगर वेबसाइट पर जाते हैं, जैसे हाउसिंग डिपार्टमेंट, यूडी डिपार्टमेंट, होम डिपार्टमेंट, वहां पर सिटीजन चार्टर उन्होंने फ्लैश किया हुआ है. वहां पर हर सर्विस आपको कितने दिन में मिलनी चाहिए, अगर आपने अप्लाई किया है, अगर विद इन 1 मंथ में उन्होंने सर्विस नहीं दी तो आपको कहाँ पर उसकी शिकायत दर्ज करनी है उसके हायर अथॉरिटी को,
एक्चुअली
वो भी उन्होंने इंक्लूड किया हुआ है. एंड इज टेक एक्शन. तो ऐसे कई सारे उदाहरण है, जैसे कि राइट टू सर्विस में जैसे शैलेश गांधी जी ने भी पहले कई सारे वीडियो रिलीज किए. हमें सिटीजन को अगर हमने कोई शिकायत की है, एक्शन नहीं होती है, तो हमें उस सिटीजन चार्टर के माध्यम से हायर अथॉरिटी को हम लोग शिकायत करते हैं तो निश्चित तौर पर कई सारे अधिकारियों पर कार्रवाई हो सकती है. जैसे कि मुंबई महानगर पालिका में रोड स्कैम में चीफ इंजीनियर पर एफआईआर होने का काम लोकायुक्त ने किया था, तो उसके लिए फॉलोअप करना पड़ता है, 2-3 बार जाना पड़ेगा. निश्चित तौर पर अगर एक अधिकारी पर कार्रवाई होती है तो चाहे मुंबई महापालिका हो, पुणे महापालिका हो, नासिक महापालिका हो, सब अधिकारियों को मैसेज जाएगा कि अगर हमने काम नहीं किया, कोई ना कोई तो व्यक्ति हमारे खिलाफ राइट टू सर्विस जो डिले एक्ट है उसके तहत जाएगा, तो हमें नुकसान होगा, हमारे पर कार्रवाई होगी और हमको जुर्माना भरना पड़ेगा.
थैंक यू सो मच अनिल जी. हमको बहुत बार लेकिन पुणे का एक्टिविज्म देख के ऐसा लगता है कि पुणेकर्स ज्यादा आते हैं एज अ ग्रुप और बहुत प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं हमसे ज्यादा, लेकिन उनको फॉर सम रीजन उनको इम्पैक्ट होता नहीं है. सो सॉरी,
मेरा मानना है कि आंदोलन है हमारा अंतिम होना चाहिए. अगर हमने आंदोलन शुरुआत में कर दिया तो जो बंद मुट्ठी 1.25 लाख की होती है खुल गई तो लोग बोलेंगे टाइटाई फिश. तो हमें पहले जो हमको गवर्नमेंट ने सिटीजन चार्टर, राइट टू सर्विस, जो लोकशाही दिन है, जो अलग अलग मेथड दी है, उसका अगर हमने यूज किया तो निश्चित तौर पर किसी को भी आंदोलन करना नहीं पड़ेगा. मुंबई में हम लोग आंदोलन कम करते हैं, एक्शन टेकन रिपोर्ट, एक्शन पर ज्यादा जोर देने की आवश्यकता है.
interesting point. We have with us another activist called Kanis Sukrani, who has gone through all these stages. And in fact, I think the petition that you mentioned, Advocate Thakkar, is the one which is filed by her. And Gayatri Singh is appearing for her. I think we're lucky to have her here with us. And she has something to say. So, Akshay, can we unmute?
I've just unmuted. Hello, Ms. Sukrani?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my video is not going on because I think you stopped it. That's okay. I have gone through all these methods. The complaint redressal cell does not work because it's closed within 7 days saying ho gaya, but on ground it is not done. So, and I've gone through the entire thing. 32 years I've been an activist. So I just found that last year I started, sending emails. I find photographs and emails, they work better in this thing, and they have a better, I think, evidentiary proof in court. So this is what I did, and I made 14 documents of various problems, and I referred to the stack report, which was as an outcome of the PIL 111, which came out. And after 6 years, PMC itself constituted a committee called RDRM committee, and which also gave a report extremely against PMC on all counts. So this was the basis. I sought 6 appointments with the commissioner. He gave me 6 appointments. While I was waiting, I was told, please go, he's very busy. This also has formed part of the PIL communication. So the thing is, now we've been given 29th September as the date where PMC and state have to both file their affidavits within 3 weeks from the last date, which was 11th August. And so we'll await, I mean, the process is long, but I have the patience. The second one is I separated footpaths from road. So recently I filed this thing on pedestrian rights, which covers every obstruction, every encroachment, vendor, hawker. And in fact, one of those 14 documents was that implement the Vendor Act, give it these zones. But it's not there. Those zones, the availability of space in residential areas is not there because it's been sold off to builders. Anyhow, that's their problem, how they do it. So that is another one which is receiving a lot of good response. So let's hope it's been mentioned. So we'll hope for a quick date on that. And that is, I'm represented there by Advocate Satya Mule from Pune, who goes to High Court. And the third one is a long drawn one, illegal sky signs. I don't call it illegal hoardings because it's illegal sky signs. 2014, I joined a clutch of other petitioners, and this received a very good order in 2017 by Justice Oka. I followed it through, but after a year, I had to file a contempt petition in High Court, and that was, I mean, the day it was being heard, in fact, was a very large hoarding which fell in the middle of Pune, which killed 5 people and injured 12. So the Justice Oka told my advocate, tell her to include all the people involved. So it became a very large thing. The respondents increased. The respondents list increased. And then COVID came in. So COVID ke baad mein there was no permanent CJ. So each acting CJ didn't want to take on the task of that. Now, hopefully, because there is a permanent one, we hope to mention it and we'll hope to get it, because even the state is now involved. Suamoto case has been clubbed with this, a clutch of PIs. I mean, there are too many to even name. So let's hope that finds some this thing, because that's and in this case, my PIL is being heard again and the contempt is being heard again, which is I find very odd. But there it is. That's the status now. But I will not let go. And in fact, I am on the second this thing, forming the group of citizens that when the order comes, order will remain in order, because state and PMC is not liable to want to implement it because it's too much trouble for them. The nexus will be broken. So then the citizenry can take over. This is the order, what are you doing? This is the order, what are you doing? You know, that is when my group comes into place, not now or not before. Because I am not the one who will go for an andolan or an agitation. My armor is on the email, on letters, on this thing. So that is what I use very strongly.
Very interesting. Do any of the speakers want to respond to Kaniza's experience? Go ahead, Advocate.
Ma'am, I empathize with you that you have to keep knocking the doors of the judiciary time and again. But I'm very sure the process might be a little slow, but finally justice will prevail. And I've been observing that the judiciary with the present Chief Justice has been rather proactive in Advocate Thakkar's intervention as well. If you circulate the pending PIL, which is pending in your matter, I'm very sure you will be able to obtain favorable orders considering the facts and circumstances. So, yeah.
I wish you all the best, ma'am, and I wish that more and more citizens take up to these causes because, like I said, judiciary is our only ray of hope given the constant flouting of orders by the executive. So I wish you all the best.
There's one point that I wanted to mention. I think Ms. Vinita mentioned that we go to the Pune Municipal Commissioner and then they don't meet us, and you face situations like this. This is a very similar situation I come across in my daily professional life as a criminal lawyer. When we go to police stations or when we go to meet the investigation officers or senior PIs, they refuse to meet us on whatsoever pretext. All you need to do is immediately on the spot write a letter on the spot that I have visited this police station at so and so time, so and so date, and the officer concerned is refusing to meet me, citing frivolous excuses. Neither is the officer giving me an appointment. Therefore, his action amounts to dereliction of duty. And you submit it there and then, and you mentioned that he's duty bound as a public servant, and you submit even if it is a simple letter with simple English language, I'm definitely sure you get an acknowledgement on the letter. There will be two scenarios that will play out. Either the dispatch department will give you an acknowledgement on the letter, or please come and meet. I've had this instance multiple times, and in both scenarios, in the scenario number one, if they acknowledge the letter, they very well know what they're in for, because you can take that letter, you can meet the superior officers in terms of police, you can meet the DCP, additional commissioner. In terms of BMC also, you can meet the deputy municipal commissioners, you can meet the additional commissioners. You can produce this letter in before the judiciary, before the appropriate forums, to show the high-handedness of the officers. You can use this letter to publish it on social media and to create awareness and highlight and name these officers. Trust me, this really works. And after a certain point, of course, you need to be courageous to face all this. So yeah.
Anilji, you wanted to say something?
जैसा कि मैडम ने बताया कि एक बार मुंबई हाईकोर्ट का एक ऑर्डर आया था रिगार्डिंग देसाई नाला एंड उल्लास नदी. तो ऑर्डर आने के बाद एक कमेटी बनाने के लिए कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया था, मगर इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ था. मैंने कॉपी निकाल के कलेक्टर थे मिस्टर नार्वेकर, उनसे मुलाकात की. उन्हें भी पता नहीं था कि इस तरह का ऑर्डर आया था. आफ्टर अवर रिटर्न लेटर विद दैट कोर्ट ऑर्डर, उन्होंने कमेटी फॉर्म की और काम शुरू हुआ. दूसरी बात की, जैसे इन्होंने बताया कि अगर कोई आपको अधिकारी नहीं मिलता है, मैं 20 साल पुराना किस्सा बता रहा हूँ. उस वक्त हम लोग एक्टिविज्म में नए थे, तो वार्ड ऑफिसर हमको मिलते ही नहीं थे, ही रिफ्यूज टू मीट अस. तो हम लोग क्या करते थे, कोई न्यूज बनाकर लोकल पेपर में पब्लिश करते थे, और उस वार्ड ऑफिसर में जितने भी डिपार्टमेंट होते, 40 डिपार्टमेंट, सब जगह झेरॉक्स बांट के हम लोग निकल जाते थे. वी डू 3 days. आफ्टर 4 days वार्ड ऑफिसर का प्यून भक्ति आया कि साहिबा ने तुम्हाला बोलवलंय. तो थोड़ा आंदोलन का स्टाइल चेंज करना चाहिए, उन्हें मिलना ही पड़ेगा. क्योंकि कई बार हम लोग वेल नोन नहीं होते हैं, नए कार्यकर्ता होते हैं, कई बार रिफ्यूज करते हैं, मगर हमने अगर कंटिन्यू फॉलोअप किया, उनको जगाने का काम किया, तो कहीं ना कहीं तो उसको मिलने की आवश्यकता होती है. तो 2 एग्जाम्पल है. कोर्ट के ऑर्डर आने के बाद भी कमेटी नहीं बनी थी, तो एज ए सिटीजन हमें जाके उसको फॉलोअप करना है. सेकेंडली, जब इस तरह के अधिकारी होते हैं, उन्हें आपको सबक सिखाना या उन्हें ठीक करने के लिए नए नए पैतरे का अवलंब करने की आवश्यकता है. क्योंकि शिकायत करना ठीक है, मगर किस तरह से उनको प्रेशर बनाना, ये भी काफी इम्पोर्टेंट होता है.
Thank you so much. I think Akash Upase wants to speak, right? Akash, go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for the sharings. I just had a question maybe to Advocate Karnani. So I'm like part of a group which files complaints and uses the complaint redressal system. One of the blogs that we have faced is, as young people, once we file a complaint, the only way to escalate it, especially if we use the 1916 or the website, तो अगर आप 1916 को कॉल करोगे तो वो बोलेंगे कि there is no way to escalate it. अगर आपको फिर से वही complaint फाइल करना होगा, and or else wait longer, or else call the BMC office and so on. And I did hear that a group of people escalating it or using social media seems a way. But do you see a way? And at the same time, there were pehle they used to send a status of if the complaint is filed or not through an SMS if we share our details, but abhi wo bhi band ho gaya hai. So are there any ways in which we as citizens can kind of get these things in place, or maybe get an escalation mechanism in place jahan pe ek hi complaint ko hum escalate kare, and maybe if we do it 5 times then it reaches the higher officials or something like that? Kyunki to be honest, like
Shall
to
we let
kind of
him
call
answer?
it on the, sorry, just to complete it, to kind of have it in the time that they have office hours and like visit BMC official becomes difficult, especially for young people who are in colleges or working professions. So apart from Twitter, on these lines, if you have anything to share, that would be really helpful. Thank
You're on mute. Advocate Karnani, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So basically, it's a very good question. So what you're asking me is that do we have an escalation mechanism, after you complain? So this is exactly why I formed the MNCDF collective network. MNCDF has 2 groups. One is called the Flying Squad, which is the core group, and who are all experts. On the other hand, we have the collective network, which is citizens who are not really experts, but they want to make a difference and they do complain. But after the complaint, they get stuck at this stage that the issue is not getting resolved. So what is the job of the collective network? As the name suggests, after you make the complaint and if the issue is not resolved within 7 days, or let us say within 2 weeks, 14 days, if it's a complex issue, the collective network with over 125 citizens activates. We start commenting, we start naming the officers whose duty it is to resolve the issue. We start following up constantly. There have been instances when the issue is being closed mischievously. We make a fresh complaint. Once again, the same complaint is made by 200 members. And this is the way we kind of corner the administration to act upon the complaint through the collective network. Therefore, through this medium today, I'm inviting citizens who are getting stuck at this stage, come join the collective network, be a part of it. So let us say these 125 citizens, they come from different areas across MMR region. So today, when a citizen has made a complaint, say of Andheri area, somebody from Vashi will also from the collective network will tell them that even I am affected here. If the person is in Vashi and if the complaint is made of Vashi, someone from Andheri will also that I am affected with a complaint on Vashi. Because as citizens, it is our fundamental duty as well to make sure that laws are followed, that citizens live with dignity, with integrity, as well as it is our fundamental right. So the whole idea of the collective network is escalation, is follow-up until we get the desired result. And I just want to quickly address one point which I read in the messages that somebody mentioned about illegal hawkers getting haftas and so on and so forth. So I'll tell you with regards to this, I don't know if you all have heard, Roads of Mumbai and Mumbai Matters are 2 very well-known handles. They are part of our team, and they did a research analysis with hawkers on ground, wherein we did a survey and we came to know that illegal hawkers are giving hafta to all departments: police, BMC, the gas department, fire department, Mahanagar gas department, and solid waste management department. So it is a very complex issue because daily this is a 1,000 crore plus illegal racket which is going on in Mumbai. And despite orders of the Bombay High Court, multiple judgments are there. The Supreme Court's Ekta judgment is there. Despite all these judgments on ground, they are not followed in letter and spirit, and we continue to see this. And
You got muted. Advocate Karnani, or got muted by mistake?
yeah, so there are times where even ward officers have been attacked by hawkers. Ward officers' finger was cut. Some officers were assaulted. In such situations, what do citizens do? So I always tell my collective network and our team that first, your safety is important. Second comes your activism, your desire to do good for citizens. First, you make sure you protect yourself. And in this regard, I very firmly believe that this racket is so deep rooted that your names as complainants get leaked by these officers. The action that is taken is an eyewash action. So what do we do in this situation? And this was a complex question that came up to me last year. And then I thought to myself that how do I find a solution to this? Because for citizens, I cannot be there physically present all the time, before the police stations or whenever they are subjected to this assault. We always come in the picture as an aftermath. So what we did is MNCDF launched the MNCDF Anonymous. Here we take complaints against illegal hawkers and illegal political hoardings. The MNCDF Anonymous handle complains these without giving the details of the complainant from whom we've received it. Our collective network, when we receive a complaint like this, one, we use the GPS camera app, which I mentioned. Number two, one of our collective networks who reside in the local area over there, or our flying squad member, they do a physical verification. After that, this complaint is tweeted or posted to the BMC through the MNCDF Anonymous, because obviously the stature we hold and the fact that, even hawkers and administration employees have become tech savvy, they go and see our background, they see, oh, okay, he's a criminal lawyer, we'll be in trouble, we cannot attack him. A lot of times my team members have been threatened, but I've had to intervene and enforce the law upon them. So this MNCDF Anonymous page that we released, if you see it, it only takes complaints and posts complaints of citizens anonymously. And the hawker issue, as much as we take it, it is so deep rooted, and it is 1,000+ crore illegal racket. After a few days, we see the hawker is back. However, there is a ray of hope. There is some sunshine on that side, because we have seen when we take a hawker issue multiple times, and the hawker is subjected to action. Thereafter, we have seen that the hawkers move away, because finally the BMC has to take some action and show that action has been taken. On the other hand, what the BMC employees do is, when they receive these complaints, they increase the hafta of the illegal hawker. Because on ground, I have, through Roads of Mumbai and Mumbai Matters, we have had these surveys where we have complained against a particular hawker. Then as a sting operation, or we have sent a person to that hawker to kind of strike a conversation with him and, say that, oh, हमने ऐसा complaint देखा. The hawkers have said, sir, वो BMC officer ने हमारा हफ्ता बढ़ा दिया है, तो हम यहाँ से जा रहे हैं. So, this is very complex, but, there is a solution to it. And slowly, as citizens unite collectively, I am sure we will render the illegal activities as useless, and they will definitely have to move away. I would like to give you a good example of this citizen forum, which has been recently very proactive. They are the Chandivali Citizens Forum. They are a bunch of residents headed by one Mr. Mandeep from Chandivali area. They have been doing fabulous work by, getting together, whether it be visiting ward offices, visiting the police, visiting the BMC department. They've been asking for a 90 feet road, which is there in the DP plan. So the idea is to be collective. Because when you go out single-handedly, you're going to be attacked by these criminals. But when you go out in a group, when you are empowered with numbers, you render all these people helpless. And that is the idea that we all need to start working on, is let us get collective. And maybe a Money Life Foundation, ma'am, you can head this, wherein you can form a collective network where all of us are there, part of it, and we can kind of advise each other and try and, find a way out to citizen issues.
Thank you so much. The last is an interesting point, but I think we need support groups. And I think that's what we have been doing. But, all of you have been doing such incredible work that we at Money Life Foundation feel very privileged to, support what you are doing. And I think in this context, because time is really short and there are lots of people who have a lot of questions, I want to make one point that some people want to know what is the PIL, some want to know what is a senior advocate, what is the app, and details of all these collective, road safety and things that you're talking about. I want to say that please write to us at foundation@moneylife.in, or Akshay would have this chat also. We will respond to all of you. We will connect you with the speakers. I can say very confidently on their behalf that they have gone out of their way. Advocate Karnani has just said how dangerous it is. Let me tell you, Anil Galgali has single-handedly taken action on a complaint that I have been talking about, which is how a restaurant has come up inside, BMC's Sinter plant at Worli. And every time I complain, the point that you're making, I write to the municipal commissioner and my name and number was given to the owner of that restaurant. And, I was so furious about it. And I must say, Anil Galgali's single-handed efforts, and we just went there a couple of days ago for a walk. It is still, the expansion has been completely stopped. They were going to 4 times the size. So the point that Advocate Karnani makes, it works. It works if you do it collectively. Somebody says, I call up about loudspeakers, no use. You will have to build a record of credibility. I think there's no point in saying, yeah, when Mr. Galgali calls and Mr. Karnani calls or Advocate Thakkar calls, people pay attention. Yes, because there is a body of work. When Kanis Sukrani says something, she has worked at it for 35 years, like she says. So you will have to work either individually or in a group. You can't expect miracles. And yes, you will not get taken seriously the first time. But I think all the questions you have, especially if you want to join, you want the names of these handles where you can join as a group. Because, it doesn't matter how much work Advocate Thakkar does in court. I mean, we've been following that. It's such a record to have 7 municipal commissioners standing in court that day. I mean, what an amazing achievement that is. And if we are not there with them, if we sit down and say somebody is fighting and it's going to happen, nothing on earth is going to change. Okay, you have to join, you have to spread the word, you have to carry that camera and take pictures. And we would love to act as a support group and connect you with all these wonderful people. I mean, Vinita Deshmukh in Pune has a style. Kanis Sukrani's is the opposite, but it's extraordinary how many people she gets on the ground. The slogans, the songs. I mean, it's a pity that it's such a slow process, but we have to plug at it, right? So I think we've long extended our time. So thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure and an honor to have you. And I hope we can continue providing the support. Any last words from all of you? We want to hear from you. You want to start, Advocate Thakkar? Order of the speakers.
Like you said, I second that, and just keep going, because that's the only way that we can really put all these people to task who have been flouting court orders, who have been, in that sense, doing illegal activities. So collectively or individually, just keep doing what you really strongly feel against. Raise your voice, because each voice matters.
Absolutely. Advocate Karnani.
I just request all of you to read your fundamental duties under the Constitution of India once. It is under Article, and I think you will empower yourselves. That's it.
Thank you. Anil ji?
मैं मनी लाइफ के माध्यम से अपील करना चाहता हूँ कि हर एक सिटीजन ने पहले हमें जो अधिकार सरकार ने दिए हैं उसे समझना चाहिए. जब हम अधिकार समझेंगे तो उसका इस्तेमाल करेंगे, और सभी को सवाल पूछना चाहिए. जब सवाल पूछेंगे तो उसका जवाब ऑटोमेटिक मिलेगा. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much. And with this, we bring this fabulous discussion to an end. Thanks.